Okay, I need to do a 2-inch measurement on and mark these off on the sides, the corners. So I got my tape here set to 2 inches. I want the long side to have the overlap on it. So I'm going to go like this. Just an easy way to do it like that. Like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect by any means. I'll do it on both sides here, but just kind of make that easy. Okay, we're going to want to do our depth. This is how far deep down we're going to be doing our bend. The bend will be on these as well. I want to mark off on these right on the corner junction. And possibly one more in the center just for good measure. Do the same thing on the other side. And we'll be bending these this way too, so I'm just going to mark this one as well. Just on the side. Okay. Like I said again, mark, and we know this is going to be our long tabs going that way. So I'm just going to do using some of my side cutters, sheet metal offsets. I'll cut these by hand. When you do this on these, is they have on this lower part, basically this curved part, that's the part that's going to be pushing up the sheet metal. And so if I do it this way, just so for reference here, I can do one of each, just so you get an idea. I'm only going to cut back a little bit to about right there on that. See how this side lifts up onto that, so it already starts to bend. So coming back and kind of bending this kind of has that little bit of lip to it, so it catches, so it makes it a little harder. So on this side, instead of doing the green, which would lift up this as well, I'm actually going to come back with the red ones and lift up the side that we're going to be bending first. So that kind of gives that a little. Same thing with this one. Now we're going to go back to the green on this side. So we want to lift up this intersection first. And red for this side. Do that. Now we got all these bent, and then we got to figure out which way we want our inside bends, or our corners I should say, to overlap. We want to overlap on the outside or the inside. And I think the inside looks best, so instead of actually doing these ones first, we're going to bend these ones. So we're going to bend the long side first, and then we're going to bend them in so they have a 90-degree angle. Okay, so I'm going to clear out the workspace here. So we got this is a good time to double check your measurements and make sure that where you bend that's going to get what you need. So we need to make sure our most critical one is the 23.5. We need 23.5 inch clearance here for the width of our washer. So coming on here, tightening this up, I'm right at 23.5. So I want to make sure when I bend this that I'm not coming inside these lines. So like I said, using the Handler's bender or any other brake or homemade thing that you got. Just gonna slide this in here. I'm gonna go right on that line. Once you get it set, just kind of put a little bit of pressure on it. Push it down. And back or forward until you get a good angle that you like. We'll kind of bring that around here so you can see our 90 that we got. And pull that off. And that's our first bend. Oh, makes a nice good clean bend on it. And then I'm going to want to bend these in because they're going to get in the way of our bending these corners now when we do that. So before we do that, I'm going to do this side as well. And this is where the being critical to get our bend right. And if you wanted, you could kind of come in and measure the inside, but it kind of makes it tough to do that. But we're right just a 1/16 hair over our 23.5, so that's good there. Down. Good. Slide that off. Now we'll take our measurement. And we're perfect on that side. Just a little bit over 23.5 and just a hair over 23.5 there. So just right where we need to be. Now we got our two ends cut, and that's basically how the washer dryer on the side, and this will be the front and the back. We need to bend these tabs in, and you can bend them in by hand if you want. You can't really use this tool because of the gap on it, and I'll show you another way we can do that. Okay, now to bend our tabs in, I had a couple things here, and all I got is just some angle. This makes you could do another bender with this, just like we talked about, a small one. If you put a little gap in there and welded them, make for a really easy bender, homemade. And what I use these for, I couldn't find my square washers. That's usually what I use, but for some reason I can't find them. And just putting square washers on it. I'm gonna bring this up and kind of put this right on here, like that, right on our bend, and using our clamp. And I got that clamp there. I'll be able to bend it now. Kind of hold that one side. That gives it kind of squared up. And there we go. We got that one. Let's do the same thing to the other sides. So now we got those bent. Now we just got to do our ends again. And it'll start to get in the way on the bend. You get to kind of get a little tricky on that. Ride that up as far up as I can. You can tell that we didn't cut this one back far enough, so I didn't get on my all the way back, but I'm not too concerned about that. Just push down again. Bend going. Okay, and this is where you come in and bend your angle with a piece of wood. Using 2 pieces of wood on there. Get the length. Or you can use whatever you got. So I'm going to go back to doing this one again. Okay. I'll move it so you can see it here in a bit. I'm just kind of trying to get it set up. I just got that bend on there and kind of work it up. Not the most beautiful pan on that, but will hold. Do the other side here. Actually bring it back just a little bit here. See if I can get it over that lip. Got me a little bit more of a bend that time. Now on this one I'm going to use a piece of wood so we can kind of do the difference. So for the next one on our final band, I'm going to do it with some wood, and I just got a couple pieces of wood here I cut down in size, and these will do perfectly. And we'll just match them up again on the bend, and then one on the back side, and I'll clamp them down. I know you can't kind of see it there. I'll clamp them first, and then you'll be able to see them. do some adjustments here. Like I said, you could do this for all the bends. You don't need to have one of these metal hand brakes. These will work just fine. Oh, I got it tightened down there. I'll show you kind of the back side of what I got. And now we got that, and should be able to get ourselves a nice bend on this one. At least better than that last one. Okay. It's much cleaner. You don't get that ripple in the center like we did trying to do it by hand with the smaller ones. So that's pretty much it for that part. I need to kind of clean up the ends here. Try to square these up a little bit. Now we're going to do pop rivet. And what I want to do is get this best angle I can for my 90 and clamp with some sort of vice grips. And then we can drill through that right there. And the pop rivets I'm using are a sealed kind. I can't remember the name of the brand is USC, but it doesn't say what they are. But instead of having an open end here, I'll show you what a traditional one looks like. Yeah, let's find one. Here's one. So here's a traditional. It's got that little nub on the end, and that pulls through. You usually get a hole in the center. This is completely sealed. So it's good for waterproofing type stuff. You don't need to come over it with any silicone or anything. For this application, does it really matter? No, I just got them, so I'm going to use them. So you got to use the appropriate size drill bit for it. And I'm just going to both of them there. Let's see. And see how that fits through there. Clean it up until you can get it as snug as you can. Sometimes that includes filing over or kind of rounding it a little bit. You want to get to the point to where it sits as flush as you can. This one has a little bit of a raised edge to it. It's just the angle of the rivet. Okay, there we go. Now we got the rivet in there. Push that down on it. Give it some pressure while you pull, or squeeze I should say. And these ones that are sealed, and what I did was there, as I pulled that up and then you do it again. Drop it down. Yeah, it's hard to leverage there in front of the camera, so I'll just pull it again here until it snaps off there. You can see the rivet inside. It looks like there's a hole, but it doesn't go through. Like I said, it pulls that up, and that's completely sealed. Now I'm going to just do it on all the other corners here, and we're ready to go from there. So that's pretty good. So what we need to do now is seal it up, and it's good to do a little degreaser first. And anything you got will work. Lacquer thinner, alcohol. And you just want to clean up around all your where you're gonna silicone or seal up everything, so you get good adhesion. This will also clean up all the marks from the pen and everything if you need to clean all that stuff up. And seal all these joints with your favorite sealant. This is one of mine. This 3M Scotch Seal 2084 metal sealant. And this is what we use a lot in sheet metal. This is aluminum colored, so it's already metal, silver colored. So it blends in real nice. And I'm sure you can see it there. So it blends in real good. I'll start on the inside first here. Okay, so I'm just going to come in and first just start in the corner and work my way along that seam. And up. Now, like I said, I don't need to go around the rivet because it's sealed. You can if you want. I mean, it's already up an inch high or so. If I have that much water in there, I've got other problems. So I'm not. It's just to kind of catch enough so it can let me know. give you guys a close-up on that when I get done here. I'll show you what that looks like. Stuff is starting to leak out the bottom, it looks like. Now I was wearing my gloves. Let's see if I can show you a good close-up. Let's see. Kind of see there what I got. And then now we got the inside done. First start on the back side. And then I'll do the back side ones. I think I'll start at the top. This makes a nice clean seam. Back over a little bit like that. And does a really nice job. Looks good. Sometimes when it dries, it kind of come back over it, but it'll kind of shrink up a bit. But once we fill that in, should be okay. Did the back there, now I'm going to do the front side. Try to make this look as good as I can. And probably steel on the inside is good enough. This just kind of gives it that finished look. That's pretty good. It almost gives it a welded seam look. Now we'll have to let that dry and double check everything, and it looks pretty good so far. There we go. Now at this point, we could, after it's dried, you could come back over and then check and fill it up with water. Make sure it holds if you wanted to. I'm very confident in the way it is. I'm not going to do that, so I'm just going to let it dry, and then I'll test fit it. Make sure that it fits properly. And the only tricky part about this now was trying to adjust the level on the dishwasher when I'm putting it in. That will be a little tricky. I'll have to kind of bring it out, adjust it, push it back in, because you won't be able to kind of reach up underneath, you know, from here to get to it. So that'll make it a little difficult. But other than that, now we got a condensate catch pan for any overflow. And we'll put a water sensor alarm in the back corner. It's an audible alarm when it senses water, and I'll show you that in the next video. And we'll do the install and see how it looks. Thanks you guys for watching. If you have any questions, send me an email or a message. Appreciate hearing from you. Thank you.